What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Male S worker got graphic at trial. Yeah, male sex worker got graphic at trial, and things just went crazy. So give me a second. All right, so I want to give you the story behind that because everybody's talking about it. So I'm making a series of videos, and I'm being specific to certain things that happened in court. So when it got to that testimony, it was the second witness, and I'll tell you his name right now. Give me a second. It's the second witness of the day. They only had two. They only had enough for two witnesses today, and sorry about that. I think I left my stuff in the car actually. Anyway, I'm not going to get it, but maybe it's not meant for me to say his name. I'm sure his name is already out there now, but yeah, I'm not definitely going down there to get it now. I'm not doing that. But he was the second witness of today. Like I said, they only had two, um, and he got into graphic detail. And yes, he got into graphic detail about certain things about his encounters with Diddy and Cassie. Now, it got real graphic when it talked about the urine situation because they wanted him to, you know, pretty much do the golden shower, if you know what I mean. And then it was the part where he said it was in her mouth too, and she choked. And at some point, they said his daughters walked out. I wasn't in the room for in the room where Diddy was. I was in the overflow room, but it had the TV and everything. So as we were watching everything as it unfolded, um, I didn't see his daughters walk out, but they were definitely there today. And I guess they went back in because at the end of the day, it showed the whole family walking out together. Um, but as far as the testimony is concerned, yeah, it was very graphic. He went into detail, and it was a point there where um, one of the lawyers was objecting, and the judge said, "I got it," because he didn't want him to repeat that graphics. He said, "I got it. Don't trust me. I got it." Um, yeah, it was very graphic, man. He talked about her first encounters, his first encounter meeting her. He thought he was going to a bachelorette party, and when he got there, Cassie greeted him, and she said, "Listen, this is my birthday present for my husband." And just pretty much giving him the money that was promised to him, the $200, even though she gave him more at the end. They gave him over $6,000. But let me tell you one thing that he said. He said it was one encounter. He was taking drugs, and they asked him what was the name of it, and he was like MD whatever. But he said I don't know the exact acronym, but it was Molly. And he said after the freak off event, he went through New York City just handing out $100 bills to complete strangers because that's how high he was. And he said I was stupid enough to do that, and people laughed in the court. So I'm telling you guys, even though it was graphic, what they not saying is people were laughing in court. They were laughing. Yeah, his name Daniel. Yeah, right. But I don't have my notes in front of me right now. I don't want to go down to the car and get him. But his name, yeah, Daniel. I don't know why. Like, did I thought I brought him with me. Yes, I did. I don't feel like going back out there to get it, man. Um, yeah, he said he got so high, all the money they gave him that night, he gave it all away. And then something, I forget it was a question and how it was phrased to him or something. He was like, well, yeah, I did something crazy. I gave all the money away, and everybody started laughing again. So there was a lot of points in his testimony that people were laughing. You know what I'm saying? Um, People were laughing in the testimony, man. I know some people was like, nah, that couldn't be the case, but yeah, people were laughing in the testimony because there was some stuff that was just so damn unbelievable, right? Were people were people were laughing. That's for real. Um, so yeah, so that first event, he said, yeah, he thought he was going to meet a bunch of women, but he met Cassie, and then he didn't know that it was Cassie at first. He didn't know it was Puff at first because he had the bandana on his face. But once he started talking, he knew exactly who it was. He said, and he said the first encounter didn't even last that long, and because he said that she was the prettiest thing, or beautifulest thing he ever seen in a while, and he didn't even last that long, and people started laughing. They started laughing at that too, and making remarks, and then he got paid for his services. I think they gave him like $6,000, and Puff went up to him and was like, "I'm having a problem with your boss. Saying I don't like how your boss or whatever. But would you like to do this again? Can we get your number?" He's like, "Yeah, cool." So he exchanged numbers with Cassie to get his number for next time. So he left. Did you know as soon as he got downstairs to the street, Cassie called him. Was like, "Can you come? Can you do it again? But before you do that, can you send a picture?" She was like, he was like, "What?" She's like, "Can you send a picture of your private parts?" You know what I'm saying? But can you come back up now? And he went right back up there, and they went on round two and whatever, however it lasted. And he said that time he don't know if he got paid, but yep, they brought him right on back up, to do it again. And then he said there was many times where he would just sit in a room and wait for them. And if they want to continue, they say, "Okay, let's continue. Can you continue?" Or they just say, "Just go home." After he'd been waiting for hours in a room. But I want to note something about him, though. He wasn't coming off as a sex worker, though. He said, "I was just somebody that you pay. You paying me for my time and my experience." He's not treating himself like a sex worker. So I think that kind of helped the defense out a little bit because he didn't he said he would have did it for free, but it just so happened they got money and they paid him, and he accepted it. But yeah, he did not come off. as a sex worker. Like he didn't want to be. It's like he didn't want to be known like that. The way he was the way he was saying it. He like getting paid for his time and his experience. So, um, but like I said, it was a lot of graphic content in nature on there, so I could see why his daughters walked out the room. You know what I'm saying? You want to sit up there and hear about your dad. You know, every chance he get, he jacking off. You don't want to hear all that. So they left. But you know, it's hard on them too. You know, you got to think. You know, they don't have their mother, and they could potentially lose him. But I did not see how the jury reacted to that or anything, because I wasn't in the courtroom. I wasn't in his courtroom. I was in the overflow room. But the camera that's showing the court is blocking out the jury, so I couldn't see the jury. I saw some of them when they walked by, but that was about it. Um, yeah, that was about it for that. Yeah, so there was a lot there. So that's what happened with that situation right there. Um, you know, he really didn't want to be known as like a sex worker. Really, he's an entertainer, and he get paid for his time and experience. That's how it sounded. And yeah, so and he wanted to use a lot of baby oil. So you know, there was a story about there was drugs in the baby oil. I don't think so. He just like using a lot of baby oil. And that's why he had so much on deck. Um, yeah. So that was the graphic in nature, really graphic. Like I said, he said there was times where Puff told him like if you about to climax to stop before you climax. He wanted to control that, and he said sometimes he'll want him to finish on her stomach or inside of her. And then he said one time, here was one incident. One time, this was crazy, and everybody started laughing at this one. He faked like he climaxed inside of Cassie because he just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? He just couldn't do it, so he faked it. So then he said, "Yeah, I'm done." So him and Cassie went to the other room, and then Puff came out and said, "Are you sure you sure you let one off in her?" Everybody like, "What the fuck?" And then he said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah." He still was lying, but he didn't. I don't know what they were about to do in that other room, because as Puff came and asked him, "Are you sure you did what you did?" Because ain't I, are you sure you climaxed in her? He said, "Yeah." And Puff was like, kept asking him. So no telling what he went to do in that other room with Gassy. They'll tell him what. Is that a crime? No. That particular story a crime? No. Um, that's not a crime. Um, yeah, that's not a crime. But they said that's what happened. So he actually, because he lied about climaxing in her, just so he didn't have to do it. And then he said, "I'm done." And then okay, cool. They went in the other room. And Puff, sure as hell, came in there and was like, "Dude, you sure you did what you did?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you sure?" I guess because he ain't see nothing. As crazy as that sound, he didn't see nothing. He wanted to see something. He ain't see nothing. So yeah, that was a crazy story. Um, yeah, that was real crazy. So yeah, man, it was insane. And I know why maybe his daughters walked out because they didn't want to hear all that graphic detail and the stuff they was getting into. But at nowhere yet they said that um yeah, that's what yeah, I might get into that. But yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was he said they nasty, nasty. Yeah. Cause they sure as hell asked him, "Are you sure, man, that you did what you did?" Buff said, yeah. He said, "No, yeah, I'm sure." He said, "You sure?" He probably like, we ain't see nothing. It's crazy. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Craziness, man. That was craziness. Um, yeah, man. It's when she takes the stand, they only gonna relive it again, and we're gonna see what happens. But her husband was there. Yeah, man. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I wrote anything on my phone. No, I didn't. Yeah, she is slated to testify tomorrow. Could be the first witness. We don't know yet. We have to wait and see. Let me see. Is there any other details here am I missing? Hold on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, her husband was there. Her husband definitely was there, and he was seen leaving the courthouse too. Yeah, but he was definitely there though, for sure. Um, just went and got in his ride and took off.
You said her husband coming back home and asking questions every night. I don't know. They could be working on something. I don't know. But yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I think I covered everything. I will catch you guys on the next one if I find anything or if I think of something else. All right, y'all.